Surely you've heard of a 5-step plan before. You've probably also heard of a 12-step plan to deal with alcoholism or other drug-related treatments. But have you ever heard of a 39-step plan? No? Well, neither have I, because that sounds absolutely dreadful. Who'd want to take that many steps just to try and deal with just about anything? So don't take the 39-step plan, take this shortcut. But wait, how does that pertain to this game? You'll find out shortly. Actually, it'll take quite a while, but you'll find out. Hiya folks, Fruit and Doggy here, getting back into 39 steps, and it's time to wrap things up. High tides. Now let's see how things wrap up. I mean, even if we catch the people, they still killed Carolitis. They still fulfilled the main part of their plan. I arrived once again at Trafalgar Lodge. Yeah, when we last left off, we were walking there, so... Okay. Scapes men would be posted by now, but there was no sign of a soul. Which means they're hidden well. Let's salute the London flag. Nah, just kidding, who cares? Doorbell! Ding dong, ding dong. The glyphs to ring the doorbell. Duh, duh, duh. Oh, what a weird doorbell.
Is, Mr. Appleton at home?
Yes, sir. Please, come in.
Who the heck are you, and why do you want to see Mr. Appleton? I didn't really think this far. My plan had been to walk straight into the dining room, and by a sudden appearance, waken them in that start of recognition, which would confirm my theory. That seems really risky, and like you could just blow the whole thing. But when I found myself in that neat hall, the place mastered me. I was struck upon the head.
Who may I say is calling?
Richard Hannay.
If you could wait in the smoking room, I'll let Mr. Appleton know you're here.
I mean, you're walking into the lion's den. Realizing my mistake. Yeah, you think? I pulled myself together and ran after the maid. But I was too late. He can't have been that stupid.
Mr. Hannay? Do you wish to see me?
I think we have met before, and I guess you know my business.
The light in the room was dim, but so far as I could see their faces, they played the part of mystification very well.
Maybe I haven't a very good memory, but I'm afraid you must tell me your errand, sir, for I really don't know it.
Well then, I have come to tell you that the game's up.
All the time I seemed to myself to be talking pure foolishness.
I have a warrant for the arrest of you three gentlemen.
Arrest? Arrest? Good God, what for?
He looked really shocked.
For the murder of Franklin Scudder in London on the 23rd day of last month.
I never heard the name before.
That was the Portland Place murder. I read about it. Good heavens. You must be mad, sir. Where do you come from?
Scotland Yard.
Though I hadn't an ounce of confidence in me, I forced myself to play the game. What? This was really your plan? I mean, I've had some moments in the story where I've just wanted to bang my head against the wall, but come on! This has got to be the dumbest thing ever! This is his plan, and now he botched it already, and he's like, do what I always do, idiots! Bluff my way through! It's like, can somebody just shoot him or something? Like, seriously, man.
Don't get flustered, Uncle. It's all a ridiculous mistake. But these things happen sometimes, and we can easily set it right. It won't be hard to prove our innocence. I can show you that I was out the country on the 23rd of May, and Bob was in a nursing home. You were in London, but you can explain what you were doing.
Right, Percy. Of course, that's easy enough. The 23rd. That was the day after Agatha's wedding. Let me see, what was I doing? Came up in the morning from Woking and lunched at the club with Charlie Simons. Then, oh yes, I dined with the fishmongers. I remember, for the punch didn't agree with me and I was seedy next morning.
Fishmongers.
There's the cigar box I brought back from the dinner.
After that, for a minute, there was utter silence. The old man was staring at his plate and fumbling with a nut, their very model of innocent bewilderment.
I think, sir, you will see you are mistaken. We want to assist the law like all Englishmen, and we don't want Scotland Yard to be making fools of themselves. That's so, Uncle?
Certainly, Bob.
The old fellow seemed to be recovering his voice.
Certainly. We'll do anything in our power to assist the authorities, but this is a bit too much. I can't get over it.
How Nellie will chuckle. She always said you would die of boredom because nothing ever happened to you. Now, you've got it thick and strong.
It couldn't be acting. It was too confoundedly genuine.
Oh, yes, just think of it. What a story to tell at the club. Really, Mr. Hannay, I suppose I should be angry to show my innocence, but it's too funny. I almost forgive you the fright you gave me. You looked so glum. I thought I might have been walking in my sleep and killing people.
Yeah, it's not like the Germans would have to actually stay at this house to make good on the escape through this avenue. To cover my confusion, I got up, walked to the door, and switched on the electric light. Wait, where? The sudden glare made them blink, and I stood scanning the three faces. I had made nothing of it. One was old and bald, one was stout, one was dark and thin. They seemed exactly what they professed to be, and I could not have sworn to one of them. I could see nothing to connect them with the Moorland Desperados. Interesting name for German ne'er-do-wells.
Are you reassured by your scrutiny, sir?
I couldn't find a word. Yeah?
I hope you'll find it consistent with your duty to drop this ridiculous business. I make no complaint, but you see how annoying it must be to respectable people.
I shook my head.
Oh, Lord. This is a bit too thick.
Do you propose to march us off to the police station? That might be the best way out of it, but I suppose you won't be content with the local branch. I have the right to ask to see your warrant, but I don't wish to cast any aspersions upon you. You're only doing your duty. But you'll admit, it's horribly awkward. What do you propose to do?
For a moment, I was very near damning myself for a fool and asking their pardon. For a moment.
Meantime, I vote we have a game of bridge. It'll give Mr. Hannay time to think over things. And you know we've been wanting a fourth player.
What? How bizarre, but okay. I accepted as if it had been an ordinary invitation at the club.
Yes, I play.
Yes, I play bridge. I felt mesmerized by the whole place, by the air of obvious innocence. Not innocence merely, but frank, honest bewilderment and concern in the three faces. We went into the smoking room where a card table was set out, and I was offered things to smoke and drink. Pretty good stuff, too. I mean, these guys weren't holding back on the drugs. The three were talking easily. Just the kind of slangy talk you would hear in any golf clubhouse. I must have cut a rum figure sitting there knitting my brows with my eyes wandering. My partner was the young dark one. What are we... Why is this the focus of the chapter? This must be a long one because nothing is happening. I play a fair hand at bridge, but I must have been rank bad that night. They saw that they had got me puzzled, and that put them more than ever at their ease. I kept looking at their faces, but they conveyed nothing to me. It was not that they looked different, they were different. I clung desperately to the words of Peter Pinar. Then it happened. He started. It was the movement I remembered when I stood before him in the moorland farm, with the pistols of his servants behind me. Some shadow lifted from my brain, and I was looking at the three men with full and absolute recognition. The dark, lean man, he was the murderer. Now I saw cruelty and ruthlessness, where before I'd only seen good humor. His knife had skewered Scudder to the floor, and his kind had put the bullet in Carolitis. The plump man's features seemed to dislim and form again as I looked at them. He hadn't a face, only 100 masks that he could assume when he pleased. That chap must have been a superb actor. Perhaps he had been Lord Alloa of the night before. Perhaps not. It didn't matter. I wondered if he was the fellow that had first tracked Scudder and left his card on him. Scudder had said he lisped, and I could imagine how the adoption of a lisp might add terror. How the adoption of a lisp might add terror. Stop! That's not a lisp. Yeah, but how is that supposed to make... Oh, man. He was the pick of the lot. He was sheer brain. Icy, cool, calculating, as ruthless as a steam hammer. Now that my eyes were open, I wonder where I had seen the benevolence. His jaw was like chilled steel, and his eyes had an inhuman luminosity of a bird's. Okay, thank goodness. I was like, what the heck? I went on playing, and every second a greater hate welled up in my heart.